My name is Ripp, and Chaps has gigantic balls. It's our first sequel. Stay tuned. American Pie 2 is next.
Hey, Mom! The meatloaf! We want it now!
Ask me about my wiener.
Would you like to have the suckle of my zipper? Like perfect 10?
Cool beans.
Cool beans.
And you never once paid for drugs.
Yeah, Jamie. We want a shrubbery!
Slippy, slappy, slimming, Simmons, Swanson?
I'm a peacock! You gotta let me fly! Shooter!
Welcome back to the funniest movie ever. I'm your host, Ripp. Across from me is my co-host, Chaps. Say hi, Chaps.
Hello, everybody.
Season 2, Episode 3. Today we're covering American Pie 2. Before we dive in, we want to thank you all for listening and remind you, if you haven't already, to subscribe and hit us with that 5-star rating. Every subscription and 5-star helps Chaps get ever so close to quitting his day job.
Yes, it can help with my gigantic balls as well.
You can also find us on Letterboxd. Myself at Ripp from the Pod. That's Ripp, R-I-P-P, from the Pod. Chaps, you want to give him yours?
Yeah, I'm at The Chappening, which is THECHAPP. Enning.
All right, you just literally took my bit.
Yeah.
All right, let's get started. Chaps, how are you? What's new? And what are you watching?
I am good, Rip. What am I watching? It's a very important time in my life right now. We're coming up on the 20-year anniversary of Revenge of the Sith releasing in theaters, and it's re-releasing. So this week, my partner and I are going to go see Revenge of the Sith in theaters. So we've been preparing. We watched The Phantom Menace on Monday, and then we did Attack of the Clones last night. One of our favorite references around here, Yoda, Attack of the Clones.
That's your Bill Hader, right?
Yeah, it's my Bill Hader. But no, like, what can I say about these movies? What do you want to hear me say that I haven't told you 100 times already about these movies?
I'm a fan of the prequels too. I'm not a big Star Wars guy like you and everybody else in my life, but I do enjoy throwing it on once in a while. We went and saw Empire Strikes Back, I think.
Yeah, we did that.
When they did a local viewing at our theater. I like the prequels. I feel like that's... have we come back around? Is that popular to say now?
The prequels are having a moment because all of us millennials are growing up. And we grew up with these movies in theaters. Like the prequel movies are the Star Wars movies I knew of in theaters. I had already seen the original trilogy, obviously, like going into Phantom Menace and stuff like that. But I don't know, how old are you? And you're 7 years old when Phantom Menace comes out. When you learn that lightsabers can be double-sided, that's mind-blowing stuff. When Darth Maul ignites that second side of his lightsaber and you're like, oh my God, my little kid brain can't handle the awesomeness right now.
So I can remember the last time I actually went back and watched the prequels. You got me kind of excited. I'm at a point in my life where I might find the intricacies of intergalactic trade interesting.
That's what I pointed out to my partner too. I was like, pay attention to the opening crawl in Phantom Menace and tell me what it sounds like to you.
Do you know what I mean? Like as a kid, love the pod racing. As an adult, maybe trade is sick. I don't know.
Hey, this is how democracy falls, with intergalactic trade route negotiations and army creation.
I like the idea that, George Lucas is sitting there and he's like, oh, you know what? Like, I got a raging boner for creating space creatures and different planets. But is it going to work if I don't know what the politics of it is?
It is. I was telling my partner this, and I think she thought I was crazy for this idea, but there is a very interesting version of Star Wars that could exist amongst these movies. Like, you can get the Game of Thrones version. What was the politics? Like, why did they want to assassinate Senator Amidala? Like, what was she touting in the Senate chambers that was so dangerous for everybody that they had to kill her off? Like, where's that little storyline?
It just turns out like George Lucas is just a really big fan of all the history behind like Franz Ferdinand, and he's like, how can I replicate this in the form of space?
That's what the movies are, right? The Empire is the Nazis, like it always has been.
Is that true, or are you just like...
They're called stormtroopers. I don't know what else to tell you. Like, that's what they used to refer to the SS as. Like, it's the same thing.
All right. Somewhere a Star Wars nerd is like furious with you right now. Like, how dare you?
He could come fight me and my Millennium Falcon tattoo.
What else are you watching?
Honestly, it's been that and the NHL playoffs. So why don't you tell me a bit about what you've been watching this last week or so?
Okay, I want to bring up MacGruber.
Okay.
I did watch MacGruber. This is the first time I've seen it in I don't know how long. You raised an interesting point. So I was positive I've seen this before, but I couldn't remember much, which actually was like a pleasant surprise.
Yeah, I love that.
We talked a lot about doing this one on the pod. Unfortunately, it just missed the cut. However, I brought up one of my favorite scenes, which I actually thought was an Anchorman 2 scene, but it's from MacGruber where he has to go out and get a crew.
Right. Yeah, assemble a crew.
And then that crew dies.
Yes.
Which is an hilarious bit.
Yeah, it's great.
You said that Deadpool ripped this
2
off
ripped
like
it off.
6 years later.
Yeah.
I had no idea that was a thing.
Is it 6 years later? It's more like a decade or so, right?
MacGruber comes out 2010. Deadpool's
No.
2016.
What?
Yeah.
I thought
Yeah.
MacGruber was like an early 2000s movie.
No.
That's
also,
crazy.
It's 2010s, like kind of early 2000s, I guess.
Yeah,
At this point,
it was also 15 years ago, which is mind-blowing to
yeah,
me.
let's not do that. Yeah, I don't know. How do you feel about that? Like, I'm actually kind of like, I'm already pissed at Deadpool. Like,
Yeah, you already don't
this
like
is a
Ryan
whole
Reynolds.
thing again about, me sucking because I'm like a big contrarian about things people like. But you really enjoy Deadpool.
I don't mind Deadpool. Like, I'm a corporate shill sometimes for the overuse of cameos and just like, what is it? Pandering to fans. What do they call that? There's a term
A
for
shill?
it. Yeah, shill. But no, there's like a fan service. I enjoy that stuff. So, like, I think I had forgotten about the MacGruber bit until you had reminded me, and then that soured my liking of Deadpool 2 a little bit more. Deadpool 2 is not as great as the first one. I think the best part of it is what's his face as Cable. What's that guy's name? Josh Brolin. So, yeah.
All right. I also watched One of Them Days.
Okay.
New 2025 comedy. We rented this one, but honestly, I would have went and saw this in theaters if I could find time to go to the movies again.
Yeah, that's fair.
I really enjoyed it though. I found it funny. The jokes landed. My only issue is, if I'm nitpicking with especially this kind of movie, given it's a comedy, it's that there's like a little bit too much of characters just making bad decisions for the sake of like progressing plot.
Right.
I mean, it's like a everything bad happens in one day kind of movie. It's kind of hard to make those without some of that.
Yeah, but it gets to the point where it seems so preposterous. It's like no one would ever do that.
Exactly.
Yeah, so it just kind of takes you out of it a bit.
Which is so strange because I always go back and I compare those kind of movies to The Hangover, which to me is like the GOAT.
Yeah.
And it's like so much in that movie should not happen based on bad decisions, but you just kind of excuse it anyway.
Yeah, I mean, there's something different about The Hangover where like there's the Vegas of it all where is that notion that like you growing up, you've been taught like anything can fucking happen in Vegas. So that's what the movie is like. So you kind of give it a bit more like leeway with doing those kind of things.
Do you think that's what it is? I also think
in my mind it is.
I also think like you might excuse it a bit more because you don't really watch it happen. It's just kind of the aftermath of what
Right,
happened.
exactly,
so maybe
yeah.
that kind of excuses it a bit.
Yeah, that's true
I
because
don't know.
you're dealing with the aftermath of a crazy series of events, which
Yeah.
then leads to more crazy events. But yeah, I get what you're saying.
Anyway, check it out. I think it's a fun watch. I hope it does well at the box office because I'd love more comedies.
Is it out at the like? See, this is another problem. For you said like trying to find time to go to the theaters. For me, it's just I don't know what's out anymore because I don't watch real TV and like I don't see ads for movies anymore. Like I'm also just lazy and I don't check the listings. Like that's on me. Like I should just go on Cineplex every once in a while and see what's coming out. But like I feel like I used to know more about what things were coming to theaters, what was going to be playing this year. But nowadays, I feel like it's I don't know. There could be fucking anything in theaters. I wouldn't even know about it.
No, that's fair enough. I get what you mean. And also, a lot of what's coming out, I typically find when I go to the movies and you see the trailers.
You see the trailers at the movie. Yeah, we've been doing a lot of that lately. Oh crap! I forgot to tell you. You saw Sinners on the weekend. That's another thing that I've been watching. Real good. You should go see it.
I'm getting so much FOMO with this movie. It's everywhere. Like you've seen it. One of our other buddies who doesn't even like go to the movies went and saw it.
Yeah.
It's all over my feed on all social media. I've asked my partner over and over again to go see it, and she just will not see it because
It's not scary.
I showed her the trailer, and 5 seconds in, it's like one of those like like a barn door closing noise, and she's like, "I'm out."
Creaky door got it
Just
right
how
away.
do creaky doors, bro? I'm out.
Yeah, I'm out on creaky doors.
This
I love
might
that.
be the first movie I go see on my own because I have to see it.
It's really good. My only qualm with it is it might be a touch too long, and that's just with all movies nowadays. I think that it's really hard to find the pacing of stuff, and like, you get too close to it, so you think it needs every part. They could definitely have shaved off a bit and like sped up some of the paces, but it's so interesting because it does really set up an interesting world that like I don't know anything about kind of thing. So you got to learn a lot, right? You got to like set the context for people. So I get why it takes time to do that, but man, Can't say enough good things about it.
No, I mean, you know what? You know where I stand when it comes to long movies. Like, yeah, I'm gonna shit on your movie if it's long, but if I'm fucking sitting there and I'm enjoying it, then like,
see, that's the
it could
thing.
be
Like, you
4
don't
hours
feel
long.
it. You don't feel the length as much as some of those other movies.
Yeah, and I mean, as we've talked about, what is it, Mickey 17?
Yeah,
Too long.
you feel the length in that
I
one. I
was
get
bored.
that.
Yeah,
That's fair.
but this one, it seems like it keeps you on the edge of your seat. So
I hate using the term of like it's an experience, but like it kind of is because there's a lot being thrown at you. The music and sound design is like fantastic and like just kind of like bombarding you a lot of the time. It's very tied to like soul music and stuff like that. I don't know. Just go see it.
hell yeah, sounds like an experience.
Yeah,
Okay,
there you go.
let's take our first break. When we come back, American Pie 2.
The old college campus. Seems like just yesterday my dad picked me up after my first year at college. And he said, now, you're a man. And today I get to say the same thing to my son.
Turn over.
Turn.
Where's my big guy?
Oh, no.
Hey!
Whoa! Get out, Dad!
Jim, we got here a little early. Would you...
Mom!
Daddy. I'm Jim's dad. This must be your daughter here. I didn't get her name, but hopefully my son did.
They said they'd be friends forever.
It's Stifler time, baby!
Now, after a year apart,
The one that got away, huh, son? You two made quite the handsome couple on the internet. Was brought up at a PTA meeting.
they're about to learn that sometimes, in order to move forward, you've got to go back.
Things are changing. Everything is.
All right, we're back. For those new around here, here's today's George format. First, we're going to talk cast. We'll give some initial impressions before diving into the movie. We'll do our MVC, that's most valuable comic, funniest scenes, and no head-to-head or writer's room today. Instead, we're going to debut a new game I like to call Assemble an Ensemble.
Okay, Captain America.
Can it be alliteration if it's not the same letter? Is it a sound or is it the same letter?
That's interesting. I don't know the answer to that, but
That's why we need an intern.
Yeah. Hey, backpack, figured it out.
Backpack. This is where we're each going to create a cast for a movie similar to the one we just watched. So today, you'll get our cast for a raunchy teen comedy.
Yeah. I'm excited for this one. It's a fun little game.
Okay, let's talk cast. This cast, not our imaginary ones. The writers are Adam Hers. He's credited on the first American Pie, and then the 17 that follow. And David,
Actually, like all of them. That's so fun.
yeah, like what is it? Fucking Naked Mile, like
Yeah, the
Beta
House. Yeah, that's great. You're serious? It's the same guy who does all of them?
Yeah, he's
That's
got a
so
writing
fun.
credit
I
on like
love
all
that.
of them.
That's
He
amazing.
just made a career out of this. It's awesome. And the other writer is David H. Steinberg. He also has writing credits on Slackers, Shrek the Halls, and a ton of sequels we'll pretend don't exist, like Bigger, Fatter Liar and Kindergarten Cop 2.
Bigger, fatter liar.
I don't think we'll be covering either of those on the pod, but you know what? Maybe one night I'll get baked and I'll watch it.
Yeah. Trashy comedies.
Maybe it's hilarious.
New division for next season.
There you go. The director is J.B. Rogers. He has not really done anything else.
Hey, man, you got to direct a movie. That's sick.
There you go. It's more than what we've done. Okay, let's talk about our core. Jason Biggs as Jim, Sean William Scott as Stifler, Chris Klein as Oz, Eddie K. Thomas as Finch, Thomas Ian Nicholas as Kevin, Alyson Hannigan as Michelle, Tara Reid as Vicky, Shannon Elizabeth as Nadia, and Eugene Levy as Mr. Levinstein. Okay. Given the cultural impact this movie goes on to have, is it not crazy how little stardom comes from this cast?
Yeah, when you think about it, like what happened to Chris Klein, what happened to the guy who plays Finch, you know, like those guys kind of disappear, basically.
I mean, Eugene Levy aside here, like who would you say goes on to have the most successful career?
Jason Biggs.
Do you
Oh,
think
no.
Alyson Hannigan?
Yes, Alyson Hannigan with How I Met Your
Who
Mother.
is, Lily in How I Met Your Mother. I mean, there's a point where Tara Reid is like pretty hot shortly before. She does Urban Legends, Cruel Intentions, and The First American Pie.
Okay, yeah. Having a moment.
Then after this, she does Van Wilder. But not long after, I guess these movies stop kind of getting made, so she kind of fades into obscurity.
Yeah, that's interesting that there was almost like this whole little ecosystem of stars that could only be in these kinds of movies that just faded away when they stopped doing them.
I mean, it's a really good point, though. Like, in the 90s, we had so many of these, right? And you know, you and I just saw Road Trip a couple weeks ago. There's I Can't Hardly Wait.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. There's so many of these that are out that I haven't even seen, right? I also want to talk about Sean William Scott here too.
Yes.
Because I love Stifler. I know his character is super dated, but
Yeah.
At
You
the
can't have these
time-
guys around anymore.
you can't. But at the time, like, did he not look like he was going to be one of the biggest comedic stars of this generation?
Well, he goes on to be in some stuff, right? Like he gets into what is it, Goon? Then there's there was some rock movie, The Rundown.
The Rundown is fantastic.
Yeah, The Rundown's a great movie, great Sunday afternoon couch flick. He has a bit of stardom from the Role Models. You know, he goes on to do some things, but yeah, he never really like gets to the level that you sort of see him on that. You know, you sort of see the trajectory for him, and he never quite reaches the apex.
So it's interesting you say that. And don't get me wrong, like, we're talking about him as if he just kind of like faded away. He's cashing in millions of dollars worth of checks. He does like one of the voices in Ice Age, and there's what, like 12 of those now?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
I guess like what I'm trying to say though is, you know, given the reception of Stifler, you'd think that, like you said, his trajectory would be something similar to like the Rogan crew, right? Like they're all around the same age.
The difference between him and the Rogan crew is he is a one-trick pony. He can only play this guy and variations of this guy that is in the American Pie movies. Like Rogan and crew go on to do lots of different things where they're, you know, Rogan's producing TV shows, Jonah Hill's being in Oscar-winning movies, you know, like that kind of, like they have more range basically than Sean William Scott.
So this is interesting that you say that. Do you think he lacks that much more talent than say James Franco, who was a part of that group before he got like canceled?
I do like
could you see Sean William Scott stuck in between two rocks and like having to cut his arm off? Because I kind of could.
I could see it, but it would be a parody. You know, like everything with him in it, it just becomes a joke, in my opinion.
So you don't think he can escape like the Stiffmeister?
No, I think it's something that just follows him around for the rest of his career. And like, don't get me wrong, he does that really well. Like he has his niche that he can crush, and like, yes, he is a very offensive character and very offside, but there's something about him that makes you be like, it's just Stifler, you know, like, which is like terrible to say, but like he's got an endearing quality about him.
He is like boys will be boys before that phrase took a whole negative connotation.
Yes, exactly. Like, yeah, that's what I'm getting at, basically. Yeah.
I don't know. Personally, I think he could have done something more dramatic, maybe sunk his teeth into something just a little more juicier if he was given the opportunity, but I guess we'll never know.
Throw him in like a crazy horror thriller movie where he's got to like, I don't know, decode something and like figure out a mystery of some sort. Like
imagine him as like Jake Gyllenhaal's role in Nightcrawler.
Yeah, like no, still no, I can't.
No.
Yeah, I just don't think he's got the range, man. I see him and like all I think is like this guy's like 10 seconds away from being pissed on.
All right, moving on. Let's talk about the soundtrack here. I'll list some bands for you that are referenced in the movie. I don't think all of these actually make an appearance in the movie, but do you remember when you could buy like CDs from movies?
Like soundtracks?
Like the official soundtrack?
You can still do that. That's still a thing. It's just not.
It's not.
Yeah,
Is it
I swear to
really?
God, it is. 100%.
So you're telling me right now, like, I could go buy the soundtrack to Gladiator 2
Yeah, if you wanted to. Absolutely.
from my local HMV that
doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah.
No, they definitely still do like soundtrack. Like there's all 3 Guardians movies has an official soundtrack.
It's just
that you
now
can
like
buy.
all on Spotify.
Yeah, basically it's all just playlists on Spotify.
Okay. Anyway, I don't remember like Green Day showing up in the movie. Maybe I missed that, but like they're listed on here, for example.
Right.
So here's some of the bands from either the movie soundtrack or in the actual movie. Blink-182, Green Day, Uncle Kracker, Three Doors Down, Alien Ant Farm, Sum 41, Lit, Weezer, The Offspring, Newfound Glory, Third Eye Blind.
Yeah, it's like a who's who of the best bands of high school. Like,
so this comes out in 2001. We are 5 years away from high school. Fair to say, this is not our high school movie.
no, it's not.
We are the super bad generation. It is like apparently obvious. It's like my number one movie on Letterboxd. I am that guy, I know. Let's compare. And personally, I think the soundtrack is a good place to start while we're here. This movie is really enhanced by the inclusions of like Blink-182 and Sum 41. Whereas if you look at a movie like Superbad, it doesn't feature any of the big name like emo pop rock bands from our time in high school, which is like what, Paramore, like My Chemical Romance,
Fall Out Boy.
For all of our Canadian listeners, your Billy Talent and Alexis on Fire.
Yep.
Why do you think that is?
that those songs and bands don't appear in Superbad.
Yeah, and like, why does it not matter, right? Because like, I mean, tell me if I'm being subjective here, saying like, Blink and some really like beef up this movie and make it more fun, right? Like it adds to it.
Yeah, they definitely do add a level of atmosphere to the movie. See, I would have to watch Superbad back again so I could like remember what songs are in it. Like the ones that come to mind, like off the top of my head, are like, you got like Panama is in there when they're like with the cops and stuff like that. Maybe they're kind of trying to stay away from the soundtrack thing because it was accomplished so well with the American Pie movies. They're like, maybe they don't want to tread on that territory kind of thing.
Well, I mean, it's pretty apparent they don't need it, right?
Yeah.
Because the movie is, I mean, it's all time. Everybody loves Superbad, right?
Yeah, it's amazing.
But yeah, I don't know. I just find it an interesting contrast that, again, like back in the 90s, I feel like, maybe because these bands were so in your face compared to 2010s, it's hard to say.
Well, I mean, Superbad's 2007, so you're coming at like, you're getting the tail end of some of these bands. But I mean, Blink-182 and Sum 41 and whatnot are all like super popular well into our high school years. So yeah, I don't know. It's a great, it's a good point.
Fair enough. All right, let's talk initial impressions of the movie.
Sure.
First one is horribly inappropriate with the whole Nadia Jim thing. I found this one to be like a little more sex positive though. Eugene Levy's speeches, the audience witnessing Jim's bumbling antics and concerns over being good at sex and the pressure he feels as a teen. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, so we can touch on that a bit because that ties into the Superbad of it all as well. Like, they're very similar movies because they share the same DNA of trying to get the girl. Like, that's a line from Superbad. Though you don't want to suck dick a fucking pussy. Like that's, and then you kind of get stuff like that in American Pie. They're all dealing with the same themes, and like Eugene Levy walking in on them is like an all-time classic bit. Like, it's so funny. He's like, "Oh yeah, we're here a little early," and walks in on Jim and his girl in the dorm room.
Walks out, comes back in.
It's just great, Eugene Levy. The best part too is like the follow up that the girl's parents walk in, which doesn't even make any sense because that's not her dorm room. Why would they be there? They'd be looking for her in some other dorm building, right?
The dad just heard like Eugene Levy's exclamation from afar, and he's like, "That's got to be my daughter." Fuck. Yeah. Fuck. This has happened before.
Yeah.
The other thing I want to point out is, and again, I guess this also ties into Superbad, everybody is so awkward.
Oh yeah.
It's a good presentation of what it's like to be that age. Like, Jim is maybe a little more unfortunate than everybody else, but he's not too far from like reality, right? Like, nobody really has a fucking clue what they're doing at that age.
No one has a damn clue.
And the best part is everybody's presenting themselves as if they do know.
Yeah.
But we're all fucking Jim.
Because it's such a fucking era where like, or a time of your life where people are like, "Oh, you gotta have it all figured out" and stuff like that, where it's just like, no, that's a fucking trap. Don't try to figure anything out until you're at least 25. Like
and even then, it's too late for you.
Even then, it's too early. Like,
you're screwed. The generations before you, they lifted the ladder up. You're fucked. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So we transitioned from Blink to college. It's the last day. Kids are moving out of their dorms. We both went to college. Not the same, since you and one of our good friends decided after I had already left that you wanted to go elsewhere. 15 years later, I'm definitely not bitter about that.
So sour.
Tell me how you're feeling. You've spent a year living with the boys. It's time to pack it all up and head home for the summer. What's on your mind? Do you feel nostalgic just, seeing that scene?
I mean, we didn't really have this whole like move out day thingy. Like, we had like a move in day, like the move out day. Everyone kind of left at different times. So it's not like the same where there's all this like commotion going on kind of thing.
Fair enough. I just remember like my last day. My dad slept on my dorm room floor because he had to drive all the way to Ottawa. So I really appreciate that, Dad, if you're listening. For me, I guess it's more about moving in.
Again, the moving day is different.
You got to live with all of our friends from high school.
I remember, I'll tell you about our move-in day. I brought a TV from home. Remember one of those big TVs with the... Remember when TVs had the fucking backs on them?
Yeah.
So I brought one of those TVs from home and I took it out of I think we had my brother's truck. Took it out of my brother's truck and I sat it down on the ground. The TV disintegrated. It just fell apart. Like, the whole back fell off of it. The screen fell off. It did not survive the trip.
That's so funny. So basically, the first 5 to 10 minutes of this movie, we're catching up with the main cast. Somehow Oz, Heather, Kevin, and Stifler all got into the same college. Can we talk about this? How the fuck did Stifler get into the same college as Heather?
Well, because he's got a new idea for you. He'll get you a spoon and you can eat his ass. Yeah, I have no idea how the fuck Stifler got into college. Was he already like a couple years like not graduated in the first one kind of thing.
Is he on victory laps? I don't remember that.
He was always like he was in my mind. He was always older than them, than the original 4, right? And he was like that older guy that kind of hangs out with the high school guys still. I thought he was already in college. What's he doing here?
This is an interesting contrast because my mind went the other way. It's been a while since I've seen the first one. But do we ever see him in class or talking about his studies?
Well, that's what I mean. Like, what's he doing?
But see, you're going that way. I'm thinking, do we know that he's like low-key just not a genius?
Yeah, there's a movie out there that is basically Good Will Hunting where Stifler is solving math equations.
Like, hear me out here. Don't pull on the red string yet. So his mom is clearly successful. She has this massive house, drives a nice car. They have their prom after party at the lake house.
Yeah.
She's clearly doing well. She's smart. Genetics, he could be a fucking genius.
What is her business? What does she do?
We don't even know.
She's got a sick car though. Was that a Beamer?
That's what I'm trying to explain to you. Yeah, like for all we know, he's low-key a fucking genius.
Yeah. Probably.
The other thing I want to bring up here while we're on Stifler is he says he got laid 23 times this semester, not including the Hummer he got in the library. Do we think Stifler's still a virgin?
He might be. Like that's if you're shaking a magic 8-ball, all signs point to yes.
Like if this movie coupled with 40-year-old virgin taught us anything, it's that there's a look to the stereotypical virgin in high school. Do you know what screams virgin more? Guy who runs around dropping fucking numbers like this.
Yeah, 100%. He has no idea what a Hummer is.
I mean, as like a teenager, I thought that was a sick line though. Okay, let's skip ahead here. The boys are back home. The audience is reminded of Jim and Nadia's wildly inappropriate webcam, premature load-blowing encounter. We find out for some reason they're still in contact with each other. This is fucking wild. Let's pause here. Not to talk about that, because that's a whole thing I don't even want to like unpack.
Yeah.
I want to discuss Eugene Levy's character.
Okay.
So first, these movies were my introduction to Eugene Levy. I know he's basically a Canadian icon at this point. Immense success ranging from SCTV to Best in Show to Schitt's Creek. But at the time growing up, he was Mr. Levinstein to me. He played this awkward, clueless dad, but as an adult on rewatch, I've really grown to appreciate how chill and like understanding he is.
Yeah, he's the nerdy kid in high school who became a dork of a dad. That's what, and he's playing it really well.
He nails it, right?
Yeah. My thing is that how fucking young does he look in this movie?
Yeah, it's crazy.
So
yeah.
I honestly do wish it was Schitt's Creek era Eugene as the dad, like the way he looks in Schitt's Creek as Jim's dad.
My only problem with that is like he looks so fucking good now. Like Schitt's Creek, like Eugene Levy, like commercial Eugene Levy that we see, like he looks good, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like that guy.
Yeah, I don't even know how old he is in this movie, but he looks great.
Like here, he does look like a dork, which I kind of like.
Well, yeah, he's got the shirt with the pocket protector.
That's exactly what it is, right?
He's Jim. He's Jim in 20 years.
And I think that it really does sell it. Like he seems like he could be Jason Biggs' dad in this.
Yeah.
But yeah, he needs more credit because he does give great advice. Like this is such an awkward phase in your life. And although everyone at the time, like I said, boasts and acts confident, I feel I'm at an appropriate age now where I can bestow wisdom. And my wisdom that I want to bestow is that you little fucks don't know shit about fuck.
It's great. It's great.
Everyone has had their fair share of awkward moments. It's just like a rite of passage. And the way like Eugene Levy's there for his son, even though his son is out there fucking pies, it's just... It's incredible.
Out there fucking pies.
Like fucking dad of the year, man. Give it up for
fucker.
Eugene. Yeah. I don't know, man. What do you think?
No, everything you're saying, like, I can't remember any of the sage advice that he bestows upon Jim, but like he does it time and time again, and he's always understanding of his predicaments that he gets himself into.
His predicaments. Yeah, like
yes.
The first one he's buying him like porno mags. Like, that's a fucking sick dad. Good for you.
Yeah, he's a chill guy.
All right, let's talk about Stifler's party. Unlike movie clubs, which we covered our disdain for during our conversation in 40-Year-Old Virgin, I love 2000s house parties. Let's start with the realism here. We shit-talked clubs because they're never properly presented. This is before Project X came along.
Yeah.
And then everybody had the idea of like reinventing their own fucking Project X.
Yeah, everyone wants their party to be the biggest party of all time.
I just remember we caught it at the tail end of high school or maybe early university.
It was early university when it came out.
And it was like, hey, let's be assholes and like punch holes in people's walls and shit. And it's like, why?
Yeah, the entire town of London became like a riot because of this movie. Like that.
It's fuck, man. Anyway, how do you feel about 2000s house parties?
It's interesting because I did have a little I was wondering where you thought this movie's party ranked in the echelon of movie parties. And you have, because you said you have things like Project X, there's the Superbad party. You've got movies like Old School. Is it more like that? Neighbors has parties. So I was wondering, does this party, does it seem good? Is it big enough? I don't know. It seems a bit low key for a Stifler party. There's no one chanting at a picture of his mom.
To me, though, that's what makes it feel more realistic, right? And it's the one thing in movies that I always hate that they do at house parties is there's a random group of people dancing in the living room.
That doesn't happen.
It never happens.
That's not a thing. And if they're dancing, it's to ridiculous music and smashing stuff.
Yeah, it's stupid, and that does not happen. I stand by that. Let us know if you dance at house parties so I can make fun of you.
But the table where there's just 4 people sitting around playing cards, that's a real thing. There's always a exclusionary party in the party where they're having their own thing, right?
And I love that. And we get a little peek at different cliques.
Mm-hmm.
Typically in other high school parties. This one doesn't really have that. It's just kind of everybody's mingling as we follow Stifler through the house. I love that. And we get a lot of that in early 2000s house parties, which is what I really like. Can't Hardly Wait has stuff like this.
Mm-hmm.
Mean Girls has this, although I think there might be some dancing in that. I love it the way the main character
dancing
walks.
at a party.
I do. Nobody fucking does that. But yeah, the way the main character will walk through a house, and there's just a decent representation of all the stereotypes you say, the crew who's off doing their own thing, the kids who are smoking pot in the veranda.
Yeah. Yeah. There's also you get to explore a bit of Finch and his relationship to Stifler's mom. In this scene, he goes into her room and it's sort of exploring it. And the way that they did this, it makes it seem very whimsical because the music kind of changes and there's this aura of he's just inspired by this woman, where the other version of this is he's looking for her panties kind of thing, right? Which is super offside and gross. But this guy is there's admiration there, there's mystery, and then this is also where he finds the Tantra book. I swear, I think these movies are supposed to be about Finch and Stifler's mom. They do so much world building for them. It's someone told them at the studio, was yeah, we can't make a movie about this guy who bangs his friend's mom, but what we can do is make a movie about this guy who bangs a pie.
We'll allude to the mom.
What's that?
I said we'll allude to the mom.
Yeah, the mom will be in the background.
But I want more pie.
Also, top museums to hook up in: Guggenheim, the Met. What else you got?
This also made me laugh because this also ties into what I was saying. Do you think for a second any of this shit is real?
No, they're all. It's Kevin says it best. It's the rule of threes. Everything that they're saying is made up to make their friends think that they're cool.
And I like to think that is the impression you're supposed to get, because I think it's later on down the line in I want to say it's American Reunion. I don't know if you've seen that one.
I have, yeah.
But it turns out Finch is a giant fucking fraud. All the stories and stuff he's been telling, it's all made up.
Yep.
He works at a fucking Staples.
That's really good.
While we're at the party, there's 2 quotes I want to touch on. The first quote is Jim says, "There's a difference. We're college men now. Some of the girls here are in the grade below us. We might have a chance." To which one of the girls says, "I remember you. You're that guy that blew his load on the internet." Splat. "Nadia, please don't go." Splat. Although this scene is hilarious, I think it does accurately represent the idea that going to college and changing your image is a hilarious fucking dream.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
It rarely works out when it's time to come home. And if Jim wasn't such a comedic fucking punching bag in this movie, you'd almost feel bad for him.
Yeah. I got that.
The second quote is Jim again. "Are we the cool college kids at this party, or are we the creepy older guys that try to hang out with high school kids when we come home?" How does that make you feel?
They are the creepy college guys that hang out with high school kids when they come home. You guys should be having a party with your college friends at Stifler's house. Not how is Stifler still hosting high school parties?
That's such a good question.
How is this still happening?
Why is nobody in his group? This is really weird that none of our friends from college are here. I think a lot of them went to Michigan State.
Ann Arbor.
They live in yeah. I don't know my Michigan geography, but I don't think it's that far-fetched for a couple other college kids to
be there at this party, rather than just the 4 of them and Stifler, who may or may not be attending school. He might just be going to classes for fun.
We're in our 30s now, but I can remember so many fucking instances of being in high school and creepy older college guys show up to parties thinking they're hot shit. unless you're close friends with the person throwing the party, like maybe they're in a lap year and you left for college early or whatever, it's fucking weird. Don't do it.
Yeah, until everyone's out of high school, don't do it. Like there's a lot of like, you know, someone's got an older brother, so their friends are at the party now too, and stuff like that, that just happens as you grow up. Everyone becomes, after you exit high school, everyone becomes the same age for a little while. Like once you're in your 20s, everyone's 20.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
All right, I'm glad we settled that. Let's talk party bits. MILF guys. Like,
if I didn't have to hold my dick because I had to pee so bad, I'd shake your hand. Like they're great.
So I want to touch on this. One of my favorite things about going to somebody else's house for a party and then getting drunk is new places to piss outside.
Right. Yeah. See, I don't have that desire to just go pee on things outside.
Really?
I can do it. I'm able to. If there's a toilet, I'm going to use the toilet.
Yeah,
I'm not a fucking caveman.
But if there's a line, like you're going out to the backyard, and you're just going to take a piss.
Yeah, that's fair. But why is the line always so fucking long at a party? It makes no sense. What are you guys doing in there?
I don't know.
Drugs?
I mean, our one friend's a perfect example. Like, I swear once he hit 30, like he has to piss after like one beer now, right?
Yeah, he
like,
takes a sip of water. He's got to go.
You know what I mean? But it's just like, you're not going to stand in line like an idiot. Like, just go piss outside. That's what everybody does. Are we the weird ones?
Maybe.
Anyway, let's talk about Stifler getting pissed on.
Yeah, so fucking gross.
So he's putting the moves on this girl with champagne. Eventually leads to him getting pissed on after she's hit with a flower pot.
This is the kind of stuff that I feel like always happens to him. And I think it's the writers' way of showing us that, like, this guy's pervy and gross. Don't be like him, because this is his comeuppance that he always ends up getting in every one of these movies.
Yeah, honestly, I like that theory. I'm just going to choose to believe it.
I love when he walks into the house and he just stands there. He's drenched in pee and he just goes, "I got peed on."
I want you to be honest. How long into getting pissed on while expecting somebody to dump champagne down your throat would it take for you to realize this isn't champagne, this is piss?
Well, it's probably immediately,
like
because
immediately,
it's warm. It's good. He's like, "Oh, how'd you get it all warm?" Well, Stifler.
But I guess I don't know, do you give him some like
benefit of the doubt?
Yeah, what are the odds somebody's pissing on me?
Yeah,
right
I mean, that's
now?
also fair. Like, there's no way that you think that's what's happening.
Like,
especially the way they set up the scene with the fucking plant hitting her in the head and stuff like that. Like, they really map it out. So, like, yeah, this is why it's believable.
Like, he doesn't hear her drop. He doesn't hear the plant. He doesn't hear the people like above him. But it's still, I don't know.
That's another thing about movies and parties that, like, I find funny. But I get why it is. It's because of the way films are made. But, like, no one can ever hear anybody else in the party. Like, if there's two guys up on the balcony right above you, you're going to hear that entire conversation. Like, that's just how sound works.
That's just how sound works. Okay, so the cops show up eventually. I mean, I gotta be honest, when I saw the cops show up, it just reminded me, like, how much better drinking illegally was.
Yeah, like, I have no desire to drink anymore because it's...
Like, trying to figure out how are we getting alcohol, like...
the classic runaround of...
Sneaking around to whoever's house didn't have parents at it.
Exactly,
Like, it's just,
figuring out where you're going to drink. You don't want to have to go to the park.
Oh, fuck. It's so much more fun. Okay. Let's cover two major beats here before we move into the fun and games. Two calls happen. Casey Affleck on the phone.
I fucking forgot about Casey Affleck playing his brother.
He's like low-key the best part about these movies.
Is he in the first one?
Yeah, he is.
I don't remember.
He's like eating sushi in the first one.
Yeah.
He's at like a fucking sushi restaurant on like a 1999 cell phone.
I love that he's the older brother. He's like he must have just been on the same lot, you know, the day that they're filming. They're like, yeah, who can we get to play the older brother? Because isn't he already been in shit?
Good Will Hunting has come out already.
Yeah, it's like, why is he in this movie?
I don't know. Maybe he's friends with some. I honestly don't know. Like, the only explanation is he's either friends with somebody or, yeah, he's on the lot.
Yeah, he's just around.
It's the same thing as what? Like Matt Damon showing up in Euro Trip?
Yeah, exactly.
Same thing. It's got to be. So Casey and Kevin are on the phone. Casey is Kevin's older brother. Casey says, "Oh yeah, it's the first summer back from college. Things are going to get weirder. Times change. People change. By the end of summer, you'll see the big picture." As somebody with an older brother, has your brother ever given you such a knowledgeable,
fuck no,
experienced message? Has he ever said anything nice to you ever?
Yeah, I mean, yes, he said nice things to me before, but my brother's not dropping sage wisdom on me like this.
There's no other way to put it. Sage wisdom. You fucking nailed it. I love that. I love this dynamic. The younger brother giving his bro a call, looking for advice. The older brother actually being helpful.
Honestly, if I called my brother right now and asked him for advice, I'd call him and he'd answer, "What do you want?"
Yeah. But But instead, he's like,
I love my brother, but that's what it would be like.
instead, he's just presented as like so cool and like collected and like, oh yeah, little bro. Like, of course, you know, times change, people change. It's like, what?
Yeah.
Okay. The second call is Nadia from New York. She calls from New York to ask about college, tells Jim that she's coming to visit him at the end of the summer. Why the fuck is she calling him?
Hey, man, she still wants Jim.
It's like she's traveling around all the states and she's still thinking of this guy. Like she was fucking humiliated, like violated. She's still talking to this guy. I can't get over this.
Yeah, it's weird.
It's weird. There's no way you can't find an equal dork to satisfy your kink. Like,
Well, she can.
It's crazy.
And she does.
Okay. As long as we agree, this is insane. Let's take off to the lake house. Let's move on to the fun and games here. 20 plus years later, and I'm still incredibly jealous watching the shot of the boys packing up the truck with their shit.
It's such a like vibe.
It's such a vibe.
When someone picks you up and like you guys are going away for the long weekend, like they really kind of capture that feeling of like, yeah, we're throwing everything in the truck. We're going right now. I can't wait to get there. Love it.
Spending an entire summer away with minimal responsibilities at a cottage on the fucking beach. The worst part is, like, as a child, I totally thought this was attainable.
No. Attainable for people born in 1980.
Like, part of me still thinks I might win the lottery one day and then I can just, like, tell all my boys to take 2 weeks off and we can just go, like, stay at a cottage like this. Because that's the only way this happens nowadays.
I'm taking 2 months, bro. What are you talking about?
Can you get away for that long?
Hell yeah. I'll quit my job.
The realization that, like, Stifler has to come, it's fucking perfect. The way they just cut to it.
See, that's why it, like, gives more, like rational, but why, like, Stifler's not really part of the group. He's always been on the outs of it because none of them want him along for the summer.
It's so mean.
Yeah, I know.
The overhead shot of them on the bridge with Fat Lip playing in the background, like that's the scene.
Fucking Stifler fucking humping the back of the open air Jeep, or what is that, a Bronco?
I don't even know, man. I do love this trope though, like the whole we need to bring a guy in who isn't really part of the clique. Like, again, we just saw Road Trip, happens with DJ Qualls.
Yeah.
This was such a popular bit in early 2000s movies, and I fucking love it.
It's like, yeah, we need one more guy that can pitch in, basically.
Let's talk about the first shot of the cottage. It's fucking unreal, right?
The place is massive. So many rooms.
Just imagine 4 guys, they're what, like 18, 19? With this massive fucking place to themselves.
Like, full-on wraparound balcony. Like,
yeah.
What are we doing here?
As an adult, I don't think I've ever stayed at a cottage this big.
Oh, the cottages I've stayed in are like, they might have 4 rooms, but they're all like connected and it's tiny.
Yeah, they all get each of them get their own fucking room.
There's floors. This place has floors.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not talking about just floors on the ground. I'm talking levels.
Like when you're barbecuing, you can see the water.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It's fucking crazy.
You can literally throw a football at girls sitting down at the beach from the deck.
I want to point out though, again, if we're getting realistic here, all 4 of them, 4 or 5, they all die within a week of alcohol poisoning, right? Like there's absolutely no chance. Like it hurts my head thinking about the amount of alcohol consumed by these fucking 18-year-olds.
It's true. You do forget that they're 18 as well, coming home from college, and like, because drinking age 21 in US, like I always kind of forget that part of it all.
Yeah.
But I mean, I guess that's why the summer job is there, right? Like that you have to do something to make money and pay for this house. So I think that keeps them in line a little bit.
I mean, that honestly makes me more upset. Like they're fucking painting part-time hours to pay for this thing.
Some of the summer jobs that they got, like, remind me of like some of the things that I did when I was working for the summer. Like, what's a good summer job that you had? Like, is this like an all-time summer job, painting with your friends? I
have to think so. I never really had the privilege of like working with my friends. Like, you'd make friends at work, but they weren't your friends like in your clique like this.
Right. I worked with one of our friends at McDonald's. They put us on one 8-hour shift together, and then they never did it again.
That's what I mean. Like, it's not even work. It's so much fun.
Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
I just wanted to point out, and maybe you can help jog my memory here. Does Kevin find like on a post this painting job?
I think that's how they get it. Like they figure it out.
Because I know they do a whole scene of him like in the truck or something and like running the numbers.
Yeah,
and he's
we're
like,
not gonna be able to pay for it.
Yeah. So sorry, was your plan to just go there and like find jobs?
I think originally their plan was to have enough money to pay for it for the whole summer. Then they realized I forgot to carry the 2.
Like, just fucking imagine the benefit of just, I don't know. Maybe again, because it's just a movie, or maybe it really was like that in 2001. But I can't imagine being on my way to the cottage and being like, oh fuck, like, guess we got to invite Stifler, otherwise we can't afford this cottage all summer.
That's crazy.
Okay, let's move on. let's talk about our first encounter with Michelle. Jim's at band camp. Michelle tells him to stick around, and they'll talk after her gig. There's a whole lot of funny here.
Yep.
Why don't you get us started?
Well, this one time at band camp, a bear came and they shot it and it died. There's the kid that's telling him about like you shouldn't bring food here, outside food, and like leave stuff around. Like that kid's hilarious. But the best part's got to be Petey, right?
Petey's good. Honestly, the quote that you were just saying really made me laugh. I'm not gonna lie. It just keeps going and going and building off of it.
The bear came and they had to what does he say? They had to terminate the bear, which means they killed it and they shot it and it died.
Hey, are you here for the mid-session performance? Guests go in the amphitheater. You can't be here.
Do you know where I could find Michelle Flaherty?
Guests bring food. Food attracts animals. This one time, a bear came, and then the bear had to be destroyed, which means they shot it in the head with a rifle and killed it, and it died.
You must know Michelle.
So funny. So Jim's basically here to find out if he was any good at sex, right? He's told no, he sucked, which is so fucking cold.
Hey, at least she's honest.
She does say she's had worse though, and I feel like that should have perked him up a little bit.
Oh yeah.
Like, buddy.
You know what would be hilarious if she's like, yeah, I've had worse, and he's like, oh, who? Stifler.
Yeah. Well, it's not possible because he's a virgin, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, buddy, like she said you're not the worst. That's fucking sick, man.
Yeah, hey, that's a win.
That's a win.
That's a fucking W.
Even though we've known each other this long, I don't think I've ever asked you, like, were you ever a camp kid?
Was I ever a camp kid? No, I never went to camp. That's something I always wanted to do because I feel like you went to camp, maybe with high school or something like that, or middle school.
I was never a camp kid. That was part of like my school. I think
that's
it was
what I mean.
a Catholic
you guys
school thing,
did something like that.
Yeah.
So that's kind of going to camp.
Yeah, I guess. Honestly, that was pretty fun. Like we went with like another. I would have been in like grade 7 or so, maybe.
Yeah.
And there was like another school of grade 7s who also went. So you got the whole mingle and match kind of thing. Play a little capture the flag. My partner though, she was like a big camp kid.
Right.
And I always make fun of her for it.
I don't know. The idea of going, whenever I see like camp things, they seem cool. Like I wish I kind of got to experience it. It seems like a neat experience. Like you watch like movies like Wet Hot American Summer.
I was just gonna say, so you're basing this entirely off of
100%,
off of movies and TV.
Like, more so like I want to go back to camp as like a 17-year-old camp counselor.
Yeah, I mean, I think that was her experience. Like, I think she started off as like, a camp kid and then like eventually became a lifeguard or something.
Oh yeah. That's
like
the trajectory.
That's the camp trajectory. Exactly.
Then next thing you know, you're putting on theater plays to save the camp.
So Jim gets mistaken for Petey, their special performer, and things immediately go south.
It's so fun. I love a bit that revolves around a case of mistaken identity.
Yeah.
And this is one of those all-time ones where like he's supposed to be some musical wizard on was it a trombone?
Yeah.
Just recipe for hilarious. I love it.
Even before we get to this, I want to talk about the ding of him hitting the fucking bell.
Oh yeah. Because that's how they find him, right?
That's how he hits it smack. Just like such a good like Family Guy fall.
Down.
It's so good. And then by the end of it, we get a nice little bookend here with the camp counselor who's so over like Petey's shit. Because he shows up at the end, right, to see Michelle. And the guy goes, this fucking kid.
This fucking kid. Are you Petey? Yes, I am Petey.
And he's got gigantic balls.
Oh, it's so good.
Okay, let's lightning round our next couple scenes here. I have the first kegger at the lake house.
Yep.
The painting gig that the boys have lined up for the summer and the ridiculousness there that ensues. And this is the second time on this pod, the big box of porn. Where do you want to start?
Start off with a couple kegs.
Sure.
I love when movies they use editing as a joke. This one example, Kevin says, we'll get a couple of kegs. It's like a hummingbird feeder for hot girls. And you smash cut to the Shermanator. And it's just all dudes.
It's all dudes. This is the most accurate portrayal of high school
100%.
parties.
This is how a party looks until about 11 p.m. at night.
I used to have a couple parties at my house. And the anxiety that would ensue after your 5 boys show up and it's only dudes.
It's just playing Pong.
They're just all playing Pong and you're like, I really hope one girl doesn't come by herself or she's going to walk in and be like, nope.
Yeah, just leave.
And just fucking leave.
She's going to text everybody else not to come.
Yeah, right? And then you're known as that guy who has shit parties.
Yeah.
I also have Whoa, the Shermanator detects serious heat at a distance of 2 meters. Prepare to deploy beer. System overload. Hasta la vista, Jessica. Like, poor fucking guy. Like, she's actually trying to help him out here, right?
Yeah.
This is, what's her name? Natasha Lyonne, known as Jessica in the movie, who's just trying to, like, help Shermanator out. She's like, you know, I get it, the whole, like, Terminator thing. It was a popular movie. Listen, if you want to have sex, you need to stop doing this.
Yeah, it's wise advice.
Wise advice, although I guess in the end, it worked because he hooks up with Nadia as the Shermanator.
It's two things. It's like you shouldn't change yourself, which is what she's suggesting. She should just be yourself and find the person that likes you for you, which is what I think. You know, that's Sherman's arc. You know.
Sure. I can't remember. Did we have anybody like this? Who just,
like a person that had like
just fully adopted a personality based on a movie or something?
No, I don't think so.
Well,
I can't, nothing that I can remember.
That's a shame. If you went to high school with us and you pretended to be the Terminator, let us know.
I think I would. I mean, there was a couple kids that dressed like they were from the Matrix. I do remember that.
Like fucking, what's his name? JP and Grandma's Boy?
Yeah, well, someone used to use that line, like, how much do clothes cost in the Matrix? The other thing I have, though, for this party is the fishing.
Yeah.
In what world does this fucking work? In what world does a guy catch a football and interrupt these ladies' nice little beach picnic and not get fucking yelled at? Because if this guy falls on my picnic blanket and gets sand everywhere, I'm giving you an earful.
Yeah. I think it's just a classic case of, like, if you're good looking, you get away with it.
Thank you for calling me ugly.
First of all, you're not catching that ball. And second of all,
that's true. I play defense. I'm dropping that.
I'm not throwing a spiral like that. So
also the way, like, Sean William Scott throws it, it doesn't look like that ball should go that far.
Oh, this is interesting. This is almost becoming like a thing now on the pod. Can he throw a spiral?
No, because the way he throws, if you watch the way he throws the ball, he throws it like he's shot putting. He doesn't like wind up. He just goes like he shot puts it. He just punches it forward.
Interesting.
That ball's not going 15 yards.
We'll have to work this in as a discussion point moving forward. Because I think the first time we brought this up was Nicolas Cage, right?
Yeah, Nicolas Cage. Well, because he was going to be
John Madden.
John Madden.
Yeah. Did we decide? We said he couldn't throw a spiral, right?
I think he could.
You think he could?
Because I think he's the kind of guy that learns how to.
I think that if you line up Nicolas Cage and Sean William Scott can throw a football further and better.
I would love to see that. Because I don't know. Like, I'm just going off of what I've seen in this movie and what I think about Nicolas Cage. Because I haven't seen Nicolas Cage throw a football, but I know what he's like as an actor, where he's kind of method, you know? I think he would learn it and figure it out.
I really hope somebody at Barstool is listening, because this is like the perfect kind of event that they could make happen.
That'd be sick, guys. Right? Get a bunch of actors and, like, let's see who can throw a football farther.
I specifically met Nicolas Cage and Sean William Scott.
There you go.
They could both afford they could both use the $1 million appearance fee.
We'll just pay for their cameo. We'll pay them on Cameo to, like, hey, throw a football as far as you can.
Imagine you pay for their cameo and you're just like, Nicolas Cage, don't hang up. Can you please? I don't know how Cameo works, clearly. Don't hang up. Okay, let's talk about the painting gig.
Yes.
We kind of have to, like, tiptoe around this, I guess, because, again, this is also kind of creepy what they do.
Yeah, you shouldn't break and enter into people's houses
to watch them change or play with their dildos.
Yes, you should not do any of this stuff.
Okay, but now hear me out.
When the chicks start messing with him, it gets good.
It gets funny. Also, when they walk out, and I think they're, like, just, like, giggling and, like, whispering sweet nothings, we see Stifler's face fucking drop, eyes bulge, and he just mutters to himself, oh my God, lesbians.
He's a fucking child. He's a man-child. He's a 10-year-old.
He's just like, lesbians live here. And to me, I couldn't help but laugh. Like, it's so, I don't know.
It's so Stifler. It's just, yeah.
As big of a douchebag like dipshit Finch is, he's ahead of his time here countering that too, right? Because he's kind of like, I think he actually calls Stifler like a homophobe.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, he calls him out on it.
Good for him. How about the phone sex scene of Oz and Heather? Well, I think Oz is just in their bed.
Yeah. Well, they're at home at the. So are we going to gloss over a bunch of funny quotes from when they go into the house?
Hit me.
Because you should not break and enter into someone's home. However, once the scene gets going and the chicks start messing with him, when they start getting their own, like, their kind of revenge, it's fucking funny, man. When they got the walkie-talkies are crossing wires with basically everybody else in town, and they're going like a tit for tat, like, you guys kiss, then we'll kiss kind of thing.
Yeah.
and they ask him like, okay, you grab his ass, and then you get a trucker. He's like, squeeze his ass, son. You'll like it.
Yeah, they the walkie-talkies are on a CB frequency, so
Yeah.
nobody will be able to hear us. And then the trucker's funny. I like the dad at the barbecue more though.
Yeah. Well, before they get to that, Sean William Scott's like, touch his ass, and you usually hear, I'm touching his ass, I'm touching his ass, I'm touching his ass. And the kid's got his little walkie-talkie out.
It's good stuff. It's good stuff.
You were trying? Fuck no.
You're a shitty kisser, man. Yeah. No, the phone sex scene it happens in their house though, because
Yeah.
I think Oz and Heather are talking, and then Stifler interrupts and he impersonates Oz and he goes, "Oh, Heather, baby, why don't you tell me my dick is as big as Stifler's?"
And then Oz is like, get off the phone. He's like, I am getting off.
That's good stuff.
They hang up. Oh, come on, I was almost there.
Yeah.
He's such a perv.
Okay, we have to mention the big box of porn, our catalyst for what I think might be the most humiliating thing in this movie, in any fucking movie I've seen.
Yeah.
So Stifler brings the big box of porn. He's on the phone and we're led to believe it's Stifler's mom. Of course, we find out later on it's the brother and he's invited to this year-end bash.
Yes.
So these events lead us into Jim and Michelle's arrangement, which is basically she's going to let him practice with her until Nadia arrives so he doesn't, I don't know, maybe Seth, you can help me out here?
You don't want girls thinking that you suck dick and fucking pussy, okay?
Thanks, Seth. All right, we've hit our midpoint here, the crazy glue. To this day, I still think this is like, again, the Hall of Fame most humiliating thing that can happen to you,
This
right?
is just so fucking cringe. It's so, Jim, what are you doing? Like, we thought the pie was enough. Like, yeah, this sucks, man. This is gross. It sucks.
I'm going to set the scene. The boys are going to bed. Jim's in his room and he's feeling nasty.
Nasty.
Not a big deal. It's natural to crank down in a house with all of your best
Natural
friends.
to crank down.
He pops in a VHS from Stifler's big box of porn and reaches for the lube, except it's not lube.
Classic, because he had to fix that lamp earlier.
Okay. First funny bit I want to touch on. It's a VHS.
Yeah.
Do you know what the name of it is?
I can't remember anymore.
It's called Pussy Palace.
Yeah.
Which has to be like most 90s porn name.
Yep.
Let's talk about him showering. He's trying to scrub it all off.
How did he get into the shower and like turn it on and and like how did he start holding the bottle the way he's got it under his chin and stuff like that? So funny.
He's like trying to dial the helpline. He's got the remote in his hand. Sorry, it's in his mouth, right? Because he doesn't have a free hand.
He's using something to press the buttons on the phone.
He can't open the doorknob. He tries with his mouth. Sneaking out of the bedroom window and on top of the roof. Of course, the fucking neighbor sees him.
Oh man, it's just like a one thing after the other. Like the thing that gets me too is like the moment of sheer terror at the realization that, oh fuck, I grabbed the glue, not the lube.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God, man. Like that, I would probably die of a heart attack if that happened to me. Like, what do you do? Like,
I honestly think everything he did seemed within the realm of like what I would try to do, right?
Yeah,
my first instinct is probably like, if I can't rip it off immediately, like I'm probably thinking like hot water.
Rip it off immediately.
Well, I don't know how long it takes glue to set. Like I'm not out here like gluing shit on a regular basis. Are you?
No. But yeah, I get what you're saying. Oh man. Then when he's on the phone, I accidentally super glued myself to myself.
I do want to say though, like his friends are actually super cool and supportive about this, like other than Stifler.
Oh yeah, of course.
Right? I think he tries to barge into the ambulance and they're like, "Are you family?" And he goes, "Fuck no."
We get another heartfelt combo with Eugene and Jim here again. You know, another sage advice moment.
That's what I'm talking about. Like, how do you, I don't know, because I'm not a dad, maybe it'll just come to me, but how do you go from your son fucking a pie and you being like, you know what, son, that's okay. Like, I used to fuck weird things too when I was a teenager. You're all hopped up on hormones and shit. But then, like, that happens again and you have to be like, that's okay, son. Like, it happens twice.
Well, that's it. He's already done it once, right? So he just gives him the same speech. He just runs it back. Just run back that same speech. I love the line, though, like when he's getting out of the car, he just said, don't forget your penis cream.
Yeah. So, like, I think this is the most embarrassing thing. Do you think this is more embarrassing than him fucking the pie?
Yes.
Like,
yeah.
without a doubt, right?
Without a doubt. Like, man, this sucks. This just sucks. It's the worst.
I will say too, it's good writing in that they're set up to be painters, and I have to assume they're painters for this bit to work, right? Because he instantly thinks like, oh shit, like
paint thinner.
The paint thinner in the truck,
well, he
right?
doesn't think that the poison control tells him that. He gets that from the phone, right? So they tell him, he's like, oh, paint thinner.
That's what I mean. So he has to have the truck full of all the shit for this joke to work. Otherwise,
I guess it's funny when you think it when you break a joke down like that. Like, yeah, they only had this summer job so they could do this penis bit.
It totally paid off.
Yeah, it works.
Okay. So to summarize, Jim's dick needs a few weeks to heal after he superglued himself to himself. This, of course, throws a massive wrench in his plans to hook up with Nadia. So naturally, skipping ahead a few beats, she shows up early. Jim and Michelle concoct this plan to be together until Jim is healed up. Just in time for the party, we montage. Jim learns the basics, like how to take off a bra and shit. We get some more perverted Stifler moments, yada yada. Let's talk final summer bash, the big party.
The main event.
Okay. This includes Jim healing up, so him and Michelle break up. Seems a little disappointed. There's clearly something there between him and Michelle. It's made me really sad, man.
Yeah,
like,
it's the classic. He thinks he knows what he wants, and then when he finally gets what he thought he knew he wanted, it wasn't what he wanted.
Like we see her like in the car, and it's almost like the one tear shed moment. You know what I mean? Like,
right? Yeah, but which kind of on her because she stopped talking to him after last year. That was the whole big point. So why'd you go? Why'd you disappear?
I mean, she didn't know yet. Also, I think she explains that, right? She's like, oh, like, did you want the whole awkward like next day experience? And,
oh yeah, true.
I mean, I guess that
seems like a cop out.
She doesn't really get much time to shine in this movie other than being with Jim, but I guess like she deserves more credit maybe. Her whole blow up here with him in front of Nadia is actually like really funny.
Yeah, the way she's like, and you smell. No, don't say that. Don't say that.
Yeah. Vicky bringing a date. Did you think the date kind of looked like Val Kilmer, or is that just me?
Yeah, I guess like.
Did you see it a little bit?
I can see it. I can see where you're getting at.
Everybody's gonna think I'm so bad at this. Between like the kid being Sandler and then Steve Carell's like younger version.
This guy just thinks everybody looks like everybody.
I do think everybody looks like everybody. Anyway, Val Kilmer sends Kevin storming off. It seems like it's clearly about something else though, right? This is where we get the realization that he's afraid to take the next big step, right? The big picture, times have changed. People are changing. Things are different. Never going to be the same.
Yeah, we kind of get a pregame bro talk here. Last movie we had a postgame. This time we're kind of getting a pregame bro talk where the boys kind of all have to get together and rally behind Kevin because he's going through a period of change in life, which is like you kind of forget. In life, there's like a couple of major moments that change. Like when you getting into high school into college isn't really a moment of change. It's after that stuff when all those things are done and you now have to become an adult. That's crazy. Like you're going through a lot, and then you experience it again when you retire. But yeah, he's dealing with some shit here.
Different doesn't mean worse, Kevin.
Yeah, exactly.
It's
just different.
Put that, you know. Yeah. Honestly, things are gonna get better, man. Like you're in college. You're not stuck in high school with the same people all the time. It's gonna get better. Chin up. Okay, this last one isn't exclusive to the big party, but it's the last scene, and I noticed it all movie, and I want to talk about it. Stifler's fucking shirts.
What about them?
You don't like I think you should leave, but it's like such intricate patterns.
They're just summer shirts, dude. You guys want I think you should leave to be a thing so bad.
Okay, fine then. They're like fucking Jimmy Buffett shirts. How's that? Like this guy's, you have a lake house and you're trying to attract all these women. You're wearing fucking shirts like you're Jimmy Buffett.
They're kind of like Charlie Sheen shirts too.
That's a good way of putting it.
They're bowling shirts. They're bowler shirts.
From like 2.5 Men shirts.
2.5 Men shirts. But like, I mean, that's kind of the vibe. Like, we all wear shirts like that now. We call them hot boy shirts. We're just making fun of them because.
do other people call them hot boy shirts, or is that just us?
Let us know.
Okay, we've reached the end. As Casey Affleck said, times change, people change. By the end of the summer, you'll see the big picture. What do you think he is referring to when he says the big picture?
You'll get it. You'll know what the next stage of life is supposed to be. Like you'll have to kind of grow up, basically.
Yeah. Yeah. Honestly, I think that sums it up perfectly, right?
You get you get a whole bunch of revelations. You know, like Kevin realizes that he needs to move on from what's her name, Vic? Is it Vic?
Yep.
Jim has the revelation that he was a band geek and just never joined the band. Like I love that line. That's such a great line that it works so well. And then he leaves Nadia, and then Sherman gets his moment where he targets Nadia for Shermanation.
It's so good.
Yeah.
This moment though, like, where we do kind of realize what Casey Affleck's talking about, it just makes me think, instead of making like 14 sequels that don't even have the main cast, why didn't they just throw a ton of money at Casey Affleck and we got him kind of like a prequel where he's realizing what that big picture is so that he can pass it down, to Jim here, right? So I think that would have been fucking awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I think what they do though with American Wedding and American Reunion works.
No, it does. Yeah. I think I'm more so talking about, the Naked Mile, Beta House,
yeah.
fucking The Book of Love, like whatever else comes.
Jeez. Well, that was just like they basically turned it into National Lampoon. It's just like, we have the American Pie franchise and just go wild.
Well, it's not too late. Give us the Casey Affleck American Pie prequel.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to wrap things up here. As you mentioned, there's the realization that Jim wants Michelle. Heather shows up and surprises Oz.
Mm-hmm.
I want to pause here and talk about Heather and Oz. I don't care. It's 2 movies of this, and they're like the least memorable characters. It's so boring.
Between Oz and Kevin, it's like make them one character. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like Kevin might as well not be in the movie. He literally all we get from Kevin is the idea of the lake house, and then he's still in love with Vic, and it's just like the most boring plot line ever. And again, Oz, like, what does he do the whole movie other than like long distance call his girlfriend?
Kevin at least makes sense to me because there always is that one kid who's in a relationship all of high school and doesn't really know what the fuck to do when they break up inevitably.
Yeah.
But Oz just makes no sense to me. Like, I don't care.
That's what I think. Like in the first movie, you should have just rolled them into one guy kind of thing. Just give a bit more screen time to like, because like at least Finch is interesting. He's got the whole Stifler's mom going on, and like he's that fucking esoteric character who just like what the fuck are you talking about, dude? He's the high guy, basically.
Yeah, honestly, he is, right? Like there is an archetype for his character that we see in all of these movies in the early 2000s. Speaking of, Finch temporarily moves on from Stifler's mom. I say temporarily because she does show up.
Yep.
How do you feel about this? Do you think we could have used more Stifler's mom? Do you think she was used perfectly?
So I do think she was used perfectly. I was wondering myself, like, does this movie stick the landing? And I kind of think it does, like, because the whole thing with Finch and Stifler's mom about them having like this magical experience together, all that stuff, it's like he's been kind of preaching it the entire movie. Like when he first finds the Tantra book, he's been talking all about like holding himself and like saving himself for the ultimate release and blah 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 blah. And like the movie basically edges you and him until Stifler's mom shows up and they have the Tantra moment. And
to me, the bit works. Like him with the fucking ficus, I think is so funny.
Oh, it's amazing.
All movie, he's just kind of like, oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Get the fuck away from that ficus. But then we have like a great ending line where Stifler comes out of the house and he's like, oh, who's that? Oh, just someone looking for the lake. What a dumbass. The lake's right here.
It's so good. It is. And then speaking of Stifler, I guess like he gets his happy ending. He hooks up with the quote unquote lesbians.
Right.
Has sex for the first time.
Yeah, probably.
Okay, I mean, final thoughts. I still stand by my initial impression, which is that this is my favorite of the like 17 American Pies that exist now.
That's fair. I would have to watch the rest of them again to like determine if this is my favorite or not, but I do like it better than number one. I think American Wedding and Reunion are like, it's the same thing that happened with Neighbors. I loved Neighbors when it came out because Zac Efron and Dave Franco, and I was partying. Now I'm an adult and like I'm a grown up, so I would probably like relate better to them in those movies. So I definitely want to rewatch them to like just see.
Yeah, that's always a fun experiment, going back just I guess at different ages and see, if you can relate to it or not. And it's funny because even as an adult, like I think why I like this one so much is just because it's just the idea of hanging out with your boys.
Yeah, the nostalgia kind of factor. Just
the feeling it creates of like getting away from the city and.
Mm-hmm.
I always say, like, whether, you're going to on a big trip or to a hockey game or something, it's just nice to get out of the house.
Yeah.
This is the ultimate version of this. You're getting out of the house with your boys and you have a sick fucking place to hang out.
It's funny though, because I feel like we really desire that now later in life. But like, I look back at when I was in my early 20s, like these guys, and like, I was never at home ever. Like, we were always out doing something. And now like, I'm tired.
Yeah, you don't want to do stuff.
I like being at home.
Okay. Let's talk MVC. For me, this is a tough one. Do you want to kick us off?
MVC, it is a tough one. Like, there's, it's hard. Like, do you give it to Jim for all the ridiculous stuff? I think it's between Jim and Stifler, probably.
That's
me.
what I have.
You know, like Stifler definitely has a lot more like quotable lines. Jim has the like, holy fuck, like that's just stupid shit that happened to him kind of thing. So yeah, I'm torn. What did you think?
It's interesting because their styles of humor are completely different, right?
Yeah,
like
big time.
Stifler's is like, in your fucking face, 13-year-olds love your antics.
Right.
Whereas I feel like now I've shifted more to liking Jason Biggs' kind of humor in this, the like cringe aspect of it where, yeah, he's fucking embarrassing himself 24/7 and it's supposed to make you cringe. And I fucking love that, man. Like, I think of Nathan Fielder's like sense of humor, the kind that's intentionally making you uncomfortable.
Right.
And I think it's a hard thing to pull off. And at his age in this movie, I think it's really impressive that Jason Biggs is able to like master that.
Mm-hmm. No, that's a great take.
So I think I have to give it to Biggs.
Yeah, I'll agree with you there.
All right. Funniest scenes. Do you want to go first?
Yeah, sure. Funniest scenes, like the dick, like that's just like probably top. Like it's so funny that, or
sorry, did you just refer to it as the dick?
Yeah, I just referred to it as the dick.
I'm just supposed to know what the
dick. When he
I know what it is,
when he glues his hand to his dick, like how could you not laugh at that? And then I really enjoy all of the stuff at band camp. How we keep going back to band camp, like those gags are really funny. And actually, I forgot that they did American Pie band camp.
I was just about to say, because you just jogged my memory that is an actual movie, and it's such a shame that it sucks.
Does it suck? I remember there being like really funny bits because it's Stifler goes to band camp, like his brother goes to band camp.
Yeah, and that's the problem is it's none of the main cast, right?
Yeah. I just remember something about the trumpet. He like puts all the spit from the trumpet into like someone's cup. Oh no! Oh, gross.
Yeah, it's really gross. I have literally any moment with the Shermanator. Just like what a creation of a fantastic character.
I like the connection between his name and Terminator is like loose at best. Sure, it's there, but you have to add a nator to Sherman for it to work. Like it's not, and even the girl says like, yeah, your name rhymes with Terminators. It doesn't without him calling himself Shermanator. Like it's not Termin. Like it's Terminator. Like I don't get it.
So you're saying like you couldn't be like the Chapsinator?
I could be the Chapsinator, but again, it's the same issue. It's not like I get where they're going, but like the way they like describe it in the film is like, no, that's not how that works. That's not how rhyming works.
It makes me laugh because it had to be so timely, and then we watch it go out of fashion. But now, 20 years later, I'm still laughing at it. Like, you know what I mean?
Well, I mean, Terminator is a timeless movie, really. So it works for me every time I see it.
We talked about this briefly, but anytime Finch is just doing anything Finchy makes me laugh.
Yeah.
I think, what is it? There's the scene where he comes downstairs and Stifler's brother's there.
Yeah,
and Finch thinks that Stifler's mom has arrived. And Stifler's brother goes, "Is that a fucking dress?"
Yeah. He's wearing like a kimono, basically, right? He's like, "Great. Weeks of stockpiling for nothing."
Yeah, his deliveries are so good.
He reminds me of the guy who played one of the lead writers in Futile and Stupid Gesture. That's who that actor reminds me of. I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but the guy who did here's my impression of stabbing my eyes out.
Oh, yeah.
It reminds me of that guy, like a young version of that guy.
I can see it. Similar energy for sure.
Yeah.
Do you have anything else?
No, nothing else for funniest scenes. I think we kind of covered it there.
I mean, the first two are, in my opinion, him gluing himself to himself. And then, like you said, band camp, specifically the kid who comes in and just steals the show, talking about the bear.
This one time at band camp.
And they killed it, and it died.
I love that when Michelle goes to talk about a story at band camp, she goes, "This one time, well, here," because it's like they're at band.
All right, let's take a break, and when we come back, we're gonna assemble an ensemble.
Hey everyone, thanks for listening. Don't forget, new episodes drop every Wednesday on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. If you're enjoying the show, share it with a friend and drop us a 5-star. Don't forget, you can follow us on Instagram and Letterboxd. Our links are in the show notes.
Okay, we're back. Assemble an ensemble. So basically what we're going to do here is we're going to create a cast for a new raunchy teen comedy. Chaps and I are both going to present our cast covering the following elements. The year that this is taking place, or, roughly years.
Yeah, era.
The era, sure. A Jim, which is basically going to be your main or your band geek that didn't join the band. A Stifler, who is basically a pervert, I guess. And Oz, your jock. A Finch, I put brains, but really just kind of like a pretentious asshole. A Crush. And then I thought this one was fun. Pick a band to kind of represent the era that you chose.
Pick a band. Yeah.
Okay, so I'll go first. I'll state my year. I'm going to pick 1999, so same time as American Pie 1.
So you're kind of doing a bit of like an alternate version of like who else could have been these characters kind of thing at the time it came out.
Researching the cast, I kind of went down the rabbit hole here with like, who else was kind of big at the time
Right.
and maybe what could have happened instead, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'll start with my gym. For my gym, I've chosen Tobey Maguire.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So Tobey Maguire's 23 at the time. I mean, this is an era where 20-year-olds were definitely playing high school kids. I like the idea of kind of seeing him in this kind of movie rather than doing Spider-Man. Now, I'm not saying he should have done this instead of Spider-Man because he made $1 bajillion.
Yeah.
But we already kind of see him in high school, right? As Peter Parker.
Yeah, he's got a good gym vibe in that.
Right? I think he could have easily carried a movie like this at the time. What do you think?
No, I totally agree. It's because I only know him from Spider-Man. It's hard to like, think of him in a different light kind of thing. But yeah, it totally makes sense to me.
Yeah. In this one, he wears the glasses. He doesn't take them off, right?
Yeah, exactly. He kind of almost looks a little bit more like Eugene Levy, Yeah.
Yeah, to be clear, Eugene Levy stays. He's still
Eugene's
Tobey Maguire's
Eugene.
dad. Okay, who do you have for your gym?
Okay, so for mine, I'm doing this in the 2010s.
Okay.
I didn't nail down a year because there was a couple of actors that came in and out kind of thing. So it's a 2010s era. You're going to be annoyed with me because I had like, this guy could also be this character as well. But like, hear me out. I have Will Poulter, but Will Poulter in We Are the Millers.
Yeah, so he's not
playing Jim.
jacked.
Yeah, so he could see Will Poulter in We Are the Millers as Jim, or Will Poulter later on could be Oz. I think there's a bit of a crossover there. So like, but I like the idea of him playing Jim in his like nerdy era, I guess.
Yeah, I could definitely see it. I think that's really good. It's funny because I haven't seen Death of a Unicorn yet.
Right.
And I think is he in like one of the Guardians or something too?
Yeah, he plays.
That's why he gets jacked, right?
Yeah, that's why he gets jacked.
Yeah, so I don't have any experience with non-nerdy bit in the balls by a giant spider, Will Poulter.
Which is like very in line with what would happen to Jim.
Absolutely, right? I love that. Okay, that's good. I'll give you my Oz. I've chosen Jason Momoa.
Okay.
So Momoa is 19 in 1999. Fair to say he didn't get his big break until Game of Thrones, right? But he was acting during this era. In 2003, he did a movie called Tempted, and yes, it's exactly what it sounds like. Here's the summary. When an unhappy married woman, mother of 2 children, travels to Hawaii to attend the funeral of her nanny, she begins to have an affair with a young man and has an unexpected encounter. So if you're trying to picture the poster for this, it's exactly what you're thinking. It is a young 20-something Momoa, Hawaiian shirt, open so you can see his six-pack, sunset backdrop. Like, it's perfect, right? He kind of gives, honestly, as I'm saying it, he kind of gives like Oz vibes already, just almost in touch with his sensitive side,
Yep. I buy that.
What about you? Who do you have?
So when I was going through my list, I forgot to do Oz because I for some reason was like, oh, we're missing Kevin on this list, and I did Kevin instead. But I kind of talked about like Will Poulter could have also been Oz, but I'll say my next one, Tom Holland as like a Kevin or Jim type character.
Okay.
So he's a bit younger than some of the other people that I'm putting in this, but like if you think like Civil War / Endgame era, he could have played like either a Jim or a Kevin. Honestly, they're interchangeable roles. Like we kind of talked about it earlier, like just mesh Oz and Kevin together into one person. He could have been collapsed into one role.
No, for sure.
All I'm saying.
Further reinforces the point that like, what are we doing here with Oz and Heather, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
I do like the idea though, and I think him and Poulter would look good together, like on a poster or something.
Yeah.
Like like similar to what we get with American Pies, where they're all just kind of you get your group shot. I think that they would mesh if I can never get over Poulter being jacked.
Yeah, for sure.
Actually, I guess Holland's pretty jacked too now, isn't he?
Yeah, but he's slim. He's like the Spider-Man kind of jacked, where they're like lanky-ish as well at the same time.
Sure. Okay, I'm gonna hit you with my Kevin. I chose John Cho.
Okay, yeah.
Who is in American Pie. Yeah. I I bet you can't guess how old he is though in the first one.
You told me this and I can't remember.
It's fucking crazy. He's 26.
That's wild.
In the first American Pie.
That doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make any sense. And like I'm looking at my cast here, my made up cast. They're all within like 2-3 years of each other, and then you have fucking John Cho, who just happens to be 26. Anyway, I think he's kind of underutilized in these movies, and really he has just as successful, if not a more successful career than anybody in these movies.
Was he a bigger name back then though? Because I feel like Biggs and Sean William Scott and whatnot are like are bigger names back then.
That's
probably
the thing, right?
coming off of bigger projects than Cho. I think he's just breaking in at that time.
No, for sure. And I think had they given him the chance though, I mean, I think he could have easily played Kevin's role.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like we said, Kevin's role is a non-role. He got to just call his brother. That's it.
Yeah, I think he could have brought something though. Have him as the like lovesick puppy. Following the boys around. Yeah. Do you have a Stifler for me?
Yeah, I'll give you my Stifler. So I chose Jimmy Tatro.
Oh, I love that.
American Vandal.
That's a really good pick.
And he's amazing in American Vandal. If you haven't seen that series out there, like please go watch American Vandal. But yeah, he just looks like a Stifler. He's kind of got the jockey look, but also like, I can see him playing that like pervy, just kind of like gross role kind of thing.
He already does it in like all of the movies he's into. We see him in 22 Jump Street. He is like the meathead, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
He's so good at it. That's an excellent pick. I chose Chris Evans.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Who is 17 at the time. He's already a douchebag in Not Another Teen Movie, so why not just make him like...
He's 17 when this movie comes out?
In 1999, yeah. So why not just make him like a little more perverted, I guess, right? I don't think he has that angle in Not Another Teen Movie.
I can't remember Not Another Teen Movie. The only memory I have of that movie is the painting. It's just the stick figures.
Anyway, yeah, I guess Chris Evans, like, horny it up, man.
Yeah, there you go. Horny it up.
Horny it up. Who do you have for brains or your Finch?
See, it's funny. Yeah, it's funny you describe Finch as the brains because I don't see him as the brains. I see him as the like weirdo of the group. Like the oddball type. I have Timothée Chalamet as Finch. Now,
that's
picture
interesting.
Timothée Chalamet, the weirdo you kind of get in Don't Look Up. That kind of vibes, like where he's like of the world. He's kind of a hippie,
a little
type
grunge.
Dude. Yeah, a little grunge. Like,
sure.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good.
And he just fits on the poster with the rest of the dudes.
You're gonna either think this is brilliant or stupid and hilarious. Maybe my Finch is Ludacris.
Okay, I would love to hear the rationale of this one.
Okay, so at the time he's 21, and what is your relationship with the Fast and the Furious movies?
That I've seen them all and I like them. I don't know. Like, what else am I supposed to say? Like, they get weird as they go along. Isn't Ludacris the one too that points out like the meta-ness of them all, or is that Tyrese?
So he's in these movies, and like you say, he's kind of like the smart one already.
Right?
Like he is the brains in that fucking group of 40 people now.
Yeah, true.
So he already kind of plays that role. Why not just make him like a little more eccentric? And when you think about it, he does Too Fast, Too Furious in 2003. He's already acting. So 4 years later, why don't we just catch him and, something like this could be his breakout role.
Yeah, true.
Also, let's be real. There's no black people in either one of these movies.
Yeah,
the
that's
first two, there's fucking nobody.
These movies are fun, by the way.
I think he would bring so much to this. I do.
Yeah. No, it's interesting. I like it.
Who is your crush?
I just went with the fucking obvious one on this one. Zendaya.
Yeah. That's,
yeah. Because the version of herself that she's playing in Homecoming, the first Spider-Man, like that teenager, high schooler MJ, like that's the band geek right there. Like she's already on Debate Club. So
that's true. Built-in chemistry already. It works. I chose Rachel McAdams.
Yeah.
She's 20. She does Regina George in 2004. Why not? I guess not be a bitch in this one. I think she could do she does the bitch.
You could get Lindsay Lohan too. Probably same era.
Either works. I'd kind of like to see McAdams be like, I guess, sweet as a teenager instead of the popular Queen Bee.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm excited to hear this. What is your song or your band?
So I had two.
Okay,
I'll give you the joke one first. Greta Van Fleet, just so you can have a lot of like, this sounds like Zeppelin bits throughout the movie.
That's pretty good. I like that.
But the real one I think would be Tame Impala.
Okay.
Specifically the Currents album.
Nice.
It's just a very like vibey. There's no lyrics in it, but I think that's like what that era would have as like their music for this kind of movie.
Yeah, I really like that. I chose Gob, I Hear You Calling.
Okay.
So for those who don't know, this is a Canadian pop punk band. They got their start in the mid-90s.
Popular on NHL soundtracks.
Yeah, there you go. Fun fact, Tom Thacker, the lead singer and guitarist of this band, has actually been playing with Sum 41 since 2006.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Cool.
He filled in and then just became an honorary member. All right. Chaps, do you want to tell our listeners what you have lined up for them next week?
Yes, we are taking our first dive into the good, the bad, and the dadly with Spaceballs.
That fucking name. Regardless, I'm excited for Spaceballs.
Me too.
Great. Thanks for listening. You can find us every Wednesday on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube. Check us out on Instagram and Letterboxd. Links are in the description.